my name is Katie and welcome to Eat Something. Just a little bit about myself. I am a high school senior and basically this video series is just a, I don't know, like a series of videos that I'm going to show you how to make delicious yumminess so that you can eat something for once. This might sound really stupid, but I have a sweet spot, pun intended, and I think that it's important that we encourage healthy eating habits and change the whole food dynamic from something that is negative and not fun to something that is fun and exciting. Just like struggling with an eating disorder myself, I guess that like baking just makes me feel, you know? So, without further ado, today I'm going to teach you how to make chocolate bread. That's right, bread of the chocolate form. The recipe is actually for a bread machine, so if you don't have a bread machine, I'm sorry, I don't know how to help you. Now this might just be my bread machine, or it might just be the way that I do this, but the chocolate chips that I put into it melt into the bread, making it chocolate. It's supposed to be a chocolate chip bread, but I don't know. Doesn't really matter. Any way you make it, it's gonna be fucking delicious. So, it's bread time. Now, the first thing you have to do is get your little handy dandy bucket out of your fancy dancy bread making machinery. And what you have to do is, the way that mine is set up, I believe it's dry ingredients, then liquid, then dry. Hold on, let me just get my manual. I actually got this from a garage sale. It has really nice instructions. Let's see here. Bread flour, yeast. Using your bread machine. Oh, here it is. Place ingredients into bread pan in the order specified in the recipe. All ingredients should be at room temperature and measured carefully. That's really important because bread is very finicky. If you add just a little bit too much yeast, it will probably blow up in your bread machine and you will have a nice big mess everywhere. So just measure your shit carefully, I guess. For best results, add all liquid ingredients first, then dry ingredients, which was what I was getting at. Sorry that took so long. Alright, so now that we have established that the liquid ingredients go in first, we have to do 1/4 cup of water. Make sure your water is warm water because that will help activate the yeast. Yeast is activated by warm things. So, like I said, 1/4 cup of warm water. Come over to my sink. You really should use a liquid measuring cup when it comes to water, but I'm poor and can't afford nice ones, and all my big ones are dirty. So, alright, now that we've done the water, we have a cup of milk and an egg. I always beat the egg. You don't have to, but I would recommend it. It's said to have all of your ingredients at room temperature. As you can see, I'm just pulling things out of the fridge because I'm poorly prepared. If you want the best results you can possibly have, I would definitely recommend keeping all of your ingredients at room temperature before baking it, just because, I mean, that's what, I mean, you know. I just think it's best to follow the instructions, but I mean, obviously you guys are going to follow my example because, let's let's face it, I'm the best. So, crack your egg. Oh my god, I'm so bad at this. I thought I could do it with one hand and that just didn't work. Oh my god, I got like shells and everything in there. This is why we crack our egg into a separate bowl. Because, ladies and gentlemen, you can get lots of little shells in there. I don't even think you can see it here. Hold on. I don't know if you can see the shells in the egg, but there are definitely large chunks of shell in the egg. Get out your whisk and beat your egg. Just be an asshole. Just kick the shit out of it. No mercy. This is the only time I can beat things. I'm a very like non-violent pacifist, so I guess maybe I just get all of that repressed anger out when I bake. Now that your egg is all nice and bloody and beaten and bruised and suffering in the bowl, it's time to put it into your handy dandy mixer. Now that we got all that out of the way, I'm gonna get out my margarine because I was supposed to soften it. Okay, 3 cups of egg flour. Yeah, like that's a thing. Bread flour. I should really just get like special Tupperware for my bread flour because right now it's just pathetically sitting in this bag. But sorry, I had to move you guys up onto my toaster so maybe you could see a little bit better. My poor bread flour. I just need new Tupperware. I think I'm going to go to Goodwill this week and just pick some out because make sure that if you're like, oh, I'm going to do a half cup measure, that you're actually like putting a full cup of flour. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm using a 1/4 cup and I put in 2 cups and a 1/4 and I almost like stopped putting in flour, but you need to make sure that you put in the full amount. That was 3. Because again, it's really important to make sure you get those measures right. Always level it off too with like a knife or a straight edge spatula because otherwise you're not going to get the proper amount. Okay. Now we need 3 tablespoons of brown sugar. For brown sugar, you have to make sure you pack it down, just because it's moist and such. I need 3 tablespoons of brown sugar. Oh, I'm gonna have like barely enough. Note to self, buy more brown sugar. 1. I'm using a half tablespoon, so I have to make sure I put in 6 because it's 3 tablespoons. 2 and 6. Alrighty. Now we add regular white sugar, and that's 2 tablespoons. I'm just getting stuff all over the counter. I'm lucky that my parents put up with my shenanigans because otherwise I would be out of a place to bake. I get shit all over the place. Like I'm gonna have to go through a whole like cleaning spree after this. Okay, we need a teaspoon of salt. Now you put in the margarine or the butter. I use Smart Balance because it's like heart healthy. like I said, I prefer Smart Balance because it makes me feel more comfortable. It's got less calories than regular butter. But, you know, that's just personal preference. You do whatever makes you feel good about your cooking, because the whole point is to feel comfortable and happy with what you're eating and your final product not be overcooked. Okay, now we need 1.5 teaspoons of dry active yeast. If you're baking bread often, it's a good thing to have around. You're gonna want to keep it like in the fridge. You're supposed to keep it in a cool, dry place. So unless you have like some like creepy cellar or something, it's all dark and whatnot. But you want to be careful measuring this out. Like, you want to make sure that you're getting the right amount, because put too much in and your bread's gonna be ginormous, and put too little in and your bread will be flat. Most recipes you would add the chocolate chips in later. I add the chocolate chips in the beginning. I get milk chocolate chips so they'll melt in the bread machine, and I put those in first. Well, not first, but I mean I put them in with the dough, and I put in half a bag. Alrighty. Now, I should have done this beforehand. We're gonna move my bread machine. I like my bread light. If you like yours a little bit crispier, then you set your bread settings accordingly for the machine. Now, what you do, depending on your machine, you just do it how you're supposed to, but this little handle, you just slip it right in here, make sure it locks in good. I always put the handle to the front so it'll be easier to pick up when the bread's done. And you set your settings accordingly. Now, this is a basic bread. It's not like a French or anything. So I always set mine to basic light. And because it has 3 cups of flour in it, the loaf size is 1.5 pounds, because you take the amount of flour that you put in and you cut that in half, and that's the weight of your bread. So this is a bread that's 1.5 pounds. Then you just close this, press start, and it starts mixing it up for you. Mine is a little bit older, so I usually have to go in and kind of you know, get it down with a little rubber scraper. I just make sure that all the ingredients are mixed in. Otherwise, your bread's gonna, like, it's gonna get made, but oh my, your bread will get made, but it'll like have flour and like ingredients on the side, which can get kind of annoying. Gotta push it down with the scraper. I have all these sappy love songs because I'm currently lonely. By the way, the recipe for today's bread is in the description. It's got all the little, you know, technical things that you have to get done. So yeah, all that information is in the info of this video. And if you guys would comment and tell me what recipes you'd like me to try, if you could send me recipes, that would be awesome.